What's going on, everyone? My name's Lee, and in today's video, I'm going to take you through my 2024 travel gear and tech. Now, this has become something more and more of a focal point for me, specifically after I met my now wife, Krupa. Now, as someone that grew up in a small town with a bigger family, I was pretty much adjusted to just packing into a minivan and driving to wherever was somewhat close. Krupa, on the other hand, she's not about that life. In the past few months alone, we went to Belize for the first time and then India for a couple of weeks. So packing for those trips is definitely something that you kind of want to think out. With that said, I'm going to take you through my choice of backpack and carry-on luggage and then take you through some of my favorite things to pack inside of them. So let's go ahead and get started with the backpack and then we'll go from there.
The backpack I've been using is Able Carry's Daily Plus backpack. They have a few different color options, but I typically prefer black backpacks because they're less noticeable and appear smaller because the black reduces the appearance of shadows, giving it the illusion of looking smaller, which is great when it comes to the airlines that are a little sticky when it comes to the size of personal items. This is a 21-liter pack made with X-Pack material, which is extremely durable and works great at repelling water. It comes with a variety of different loops that makes it easy to grab onto on the go or hang using my Hero Clip carabiner clip that I always keep on my backpacks now just in case I'm ever somewhere that I want to keep my stuff off of the ground. One of the main reasons I love this option for travel is the shoulder straps and the back have the ideal amount of cushion, making carrying this around way more comfortable. The back is also designed with an air channel that helps to keep my back cooler for longer so that I don't have to worry about sweating as soon as I put this thing on. Speaking of putting this on, let me show you what this looks like wearing it around the comfort of my own office. There are a few different pouches to store items, so let's go through them. On the top of the back area is a hidden security pocket. It's a little awkward to access, but that's kind of the point. I typically only use this for things I want to keep safe, such as my passport or for my wallet. On the side is the internal water bottle pocket. One of the big things I've learned because of these trips is the importance of drinkable water and avoiding getting sick that could potentially ruin the trip altogether. Because of this, I now use the Luma self-cleaning water bottle. The base of the bottle has a USB-C rechargeable UVC light that eliminates 99.99% of any bacteria from the water in 60 seconds. I also love that they put this on the base of the bottle rather than the cap, mainly because I'm looking forward to whenever they come out with their filter straw to help improve the taste, especially when I'm getting it from water fountains at different airports. Now, the only thing about this being put in the hidden compartment is that it does take up a lot of room inside of the main compartment of this backpack. So let's check out what I typically store in there. In the main compartment of my backpack is where I keep my iPad, alpaca compression packing cube, and my flight sling bag. I'm able to fit a 16-inch MacBook Pro, but I typically just travel with my iPad Pro with the Logitech keyboard case. I'm a huge user of Notion now when it comes to planning out my trips. My main thing that I like to do is plan out my day-to-day activities beforehand and then just update our experiences throughout the trips. It's actually a great way to just share my experience with friends and families considering doing the same trip, or I can just use it to recap if I ever plan to come back. One fear I always have when flying is what happens if I'm forced to check in my carry-on suitcase and they end up losing it. So this is why I always pack at least one full outfit change in my backpack using Alpaca's compression packing cube. This gives me a decent amount of space for clothes, and I'm able to use the compression zippers to help save around 50% of space in my backpack. It also features a Japanese odor absorbing mesh to help with absorbing any of the smells in case I use it to pack dirty laundry on the way back. Rather than having a tech pouch, I switched to Alpaca's sling pouch, which you might consider to be the same thing. This is something that I put in my backpack, but a lot of you might use it as a personal item by itself. This is made from 200D ripstop nylon and has detachable nylon straps so that it can be used as a sling whenever needed. It is just big enough to where you can fit items like an iPad mini, Nintendo Switch, or over-the-ear headphones. But let's just go through what I keep in mind personally. In the front pocket, there's a really nice detachable keychain where I keep my Apple AirTag to help ensure that I don't lose this, and also an emergency 6-in-1 charging cable. I can't tell you how many times I end up forgetting a specific type of charging cable, so I almost always keep this one with me. A few other items I keep in this pocket is chapstick, especially useful for dry climates in places like Denver or Vegas, and I also try to keep an extra sanitizer wipe when possible. Lastly, I keep an extra pen and pencil here. These ones are some of my new favorites I've been trying out based on recommendations I've received. One thing I never travel without is an external battery. I primarily use Ugreen's 10,000 milliamp magnetic power bank because of the amount of power I get for the size and the fact that I can magnetically charge my phone for times that I don't have my cable. I also like bringing a 3-in-1 charger like this so that I can easily charge my phone, AirPods, and an Apple Watch overnight as well without having to worry about bringing a cable for each one. AirPods are still my go-to choice for headphones, mainly because I don't like having a bunch of space taken up by over-the-ear headphones. I always bring a few extra charging cables when possible, and I've been using rubber magnetic bands to keep them organized. And to avoid carrying a bunch of different chargers, I prefer using Ugreen's 65-watt fast charger that has 2 USB-C ports and 1 USB-A port. One thing that sucks about long flights, especially for someone like me that can never find a way to sleep on board, is finding a way to keep myself entertained. I refuse to pay for Wi-Fi when we're up in the air, but because a lot of the mobile games that I've played require internet access, I decided to get this. The Ambernic RG353V Retro Handheld Gaming Console. This thing is actually pretty sick, especially if you love classic games. It comes with a ton of games already preloaded onto the card, but you're also able to add a ton of others depending on what you like. Overall, the screen looks fantastic, the battery life has been great, and it can easily keep me entertained on long flights for hours. The front of the backpack is the easy access pouch. When I'm traveling, this is where I store my alpaca zip travel pouch. This is what I use to keep my passport, field notebook, pen, and any additional forms of ID, and sometimes even credit card and cash when I carry it around. And as someone that gets a little bit of travel anxiety, I also started carrying around this field notebook where I write down important information such as hotel address, phone number, confirmation number, and basically anything else I would need just in case my phone breaks or I lose it. To go with it, I also bring my Fisher Space Pen because it is still my favorite reliable EDC pen. The fact that it can write at any angle, it lasts way longer than most pens, and it apparently can write underwater or even over grease. Even though I haven't ran into those use cases yet, it's why I keep this one with me at all times. The front pocket of the backpack also has this key clip. This is where I keep my rechargeable flashlight and emergency titanium keychain. The flashlight came in clutch in Belize when the resort we were at didn't have lights near where our room was. It has several different light modes and a magnetic base, and outside of standard flashlight usages, it's nice to take this with you in case you plan to bike at night and need a safety blinker. The emergency titanium keychain can be used as a pry bar, bottle opener, a flathead screwdriver, and it can also be opened to store pills, or in my case, I keep emergency cash here. That's the majority of what I keep in my backpack. Now let's move on to my carry-on luggage. With check-in pricing going up with a few airlines this year, I decided to upgrade my carry-on luggage finally. I switched to Level 8's Roadrunner Pro carry-on option because from what I've seen, they're very well reviewed and one of the more affordable options. A few things that I really like about this is that I'm able to lock it with their TSA approved lock, which is nice to have as a friction point in case anyone tries to break into it. It also has a built-in USB port in case I want to add one of my portable batteries to this. And one of the more unique things that this has is that the front pops open where it can easily access items such as cables or my MacBook Pro for when I bring it along. The inside of the bag is actually really nice because it encourages organization and keeping what I pack secure. To keep my suitcase even more organized, I'm now all about using packing cubes. These have been essential to maxing out my carry-on space and keeping everything organized. I really like compression versions like what I have in my backpack, but these ones are actually great because they're a little more affordable and come in several different sizes. Outside of the travel cubes, I also use Alpaca's Toiletry Bag. I chose this mainly because of the durability, all of the different compartments, and its ability to fit a fair amount of products within a small space. But for TSA purposes, if I ever have to take liquids onto the plane, I still like having some of these clear travel bags and containers. I typically pack additional items in my carry-on, but I wanted to take you through the main items and what's new with my gear this year. I'm still working to improve my setup, so I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comments. What are you starting to pack, and is there anything you think I should add? I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to show your support by dropping a like. With that said, I'll see you all next time.